Good morning. There's so much good energy in this room right now. So much energy. There's apparently a separate party happening in the kitchen. So I wasn't invited to that party. This is not how we normally start our services, but we have several really important announcements that I want to draw attention to this morning before we get started. So the first one is that next Sunday is, the UUA, the Unitarian Universalist Association General Assembly is this week. It's a mostly virtual event. But it's happening all this week, and there will be a worship service that's a part of the General Assembly next week that we will live stream in the sanctuary, but it starts at 10 a.m. next week. So there will be no children or adult religious education. No child care will be available next week. We will also share the link out, so if you want to watch that service from home, you are welcome to. Or you can come here and be with other people and watch it here, but it will happen at 10 a.m. So everybody say 10 a.m. Next Sunday, live stream service. Okay, so now that you've said it, you might remember it. And Becca Gray has an announcement too.
Thanks, Michelle. Good morning. Oh, it is some good energy today. And again, this isn't how we usually start the service because I know we have some newbies here that I'm so excited that are here. Just wanted two quick announcements. One, in terms of safety, we have a safety committee that's part of Buildings and Grounds. I just want to remind everyone, if you're here last in the building, especially even downstairs, make sure that door is locked. Recently, it looks like it maybe hasn't been locked and we've come in and the bottom has been open. So just check that when you're going. The other update is in the blue announcement flyer, but I also wanted to verbalize it because it's about money and finances. It's important. The capital project update. So during the 2025 fall congregational meeting, the congregation had approved spending $5,000 to transform the front landscaping, which I know Emmy and Barbara just really worked hard at. It was amazing. So thank you guys. There were some surplus funds from that, and the board approved to use a majority of that surplus funds, which was $1,172 that was not spent, towards a safety issue, again, surrounding landscaping. Our neighbor off to this side has, some trees on our property that could really be a hazard to us as well as to their family, and so we'd like to cut that down using the money that was kind of already appropriated. But we're bringing that to the congregation because it's something that was approved by everybody, and if we, move things around a little bit to cover something else, we just want everybody to know. So please look at your blue bulletins for more description, and if we don't hear any nays by Wednesday, we're going to go ahead and move forward in taking care of that safety issue. Thank you.
Yes, let's clap for the landscaping. And then let's clap because it's Pride Weekend. And then let's clap because we're just all here together. And then let's start our service.
Well, I think everybody feels welcomed already. But I'm Laura Parsons, and I'm glad you're here. And we'll go right to the chalice lighting. And do we have a chalice lighter? I don't think. Do we have a volunteer? All righty. I was a little neglectful and tied up and didn't look for one. Thank you. I should say, because Becca would need to know that was Kathleen who lit the chalice. Dacia would need to know. Today's chalice lighting words are by Hannah Roberts Villeneuve. People sometimes ask, is Pride a protest or a party? And the answer is, of course, yes. And why not? Why not rejoice as we resist, dance as we demand change, celebrate as we create community that delights in all of who we are? So bring all of that with you this morning. Bring your policy demands, bring your glitter, bring your Supreme Court broken heart, bring your rainbow socks, bring the emptiness you feel for our siblings gone too soon. Bring your Gloria Estefan remix. Bring your tender hope for change. Bring your most garish eyeshadow. Bring your spirit tattered and battered by a world that seems insistent on choosing fear and hate. Gather up all these things and bring them here to a place where we don't have to shoulder these burdens or celebrate these joys alone. Come, let us worship together. The prelude is Ballad of an Outlaw, written and performed, pardon?
Time for all ages.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, yeah, we do need time for all ages, right now.
Why the full plan?
That gets announced by Jennifer.
That's what I love about this place, to have somebody say, go get 'em, kiddo, when you're on your way up here. I mean, come on, who doesn't need to hear something like that? Anyway, good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Dunn, and let's see, I gotta find my place here and there. All right. Anyway, my pronouns are she and her, and our June focus is on flourishing together. Today, we are also focused on Pride Month and remembrance of the Pulse Night Club tragedy. I'm reading you a book based on a true story about what some neighborhood kids did that we can all learn from. They found a healthy way to show up for those they cared about who were victims of a hate crime. The book is called Rainbow Allies, The True Story of Kids Who Stood Against Hate, by Nancy Chernin and illustrated by Izzy Evans. The print is really small, so bear with me and all my squinting. In Natick, Massachusetts, there is a neighborhood that looks like many others. It isn't the biggest or the fanciest. Many pass through, not realizing the secret that makes it shine. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is celebrated. Everyone helps each other. Kids play at each other's houses. Dogs greet one another on the sidewalk, and adults buy lemonade from the children's stands. When people move in, neighbors bring a bounty of foods from their different cultures so they can enjoy the many flavors of their new home. When Carrie, one of the neighbors, married, everyone was happy to meet her wife, Lori. Their dogs, Twink and Scout, were welcomed too. We've got something for you, Brendan, one of the neighborhood kids said, pulling dog biscuits from a bowl. Twink and Scout smothered Brendan, Landon, and Summer with kisses. They wagged tails as they crunched treats. Twink and Scout say thank you, Carrie said as she bought some lemonade. Landon saw a bright cloth peeking out of Lori's bag. What's that? He asked. It's a rainbow flag, Lori said, pulling it out to show them. Do you think it will look nice on our house? It's beautiful, Summer said, her fingers tracing the bright colors. Can we help put it up? Brendan asked. Landon nodded eagerly. We have a ladder, Summer said. Carrie and Lori loved their neighborhood where everyone was welcome. Then one day, when Brendan passed their house, something felt wrong. He squeezed his brakes. It was too quiet. No Twink or Scout scampering to greet him. He didn't even hear a bark. And something else was missing. Was it their flag? Brendan saw Carrie and Lori scrubbing sticky bits of yolk from their walls and windows. Twink and Scout were whimpering, curled in balls by their feet. A broken mount swayed where the flag had waved. What happened? Brendan whispered. Carrie told them they'd found the house this way when they got home. Why? Brendan felt the hurt his friends were feeling like a stone in his stomach. Nothing like this had ever happened in his neighborhood before. Maybe someone doesn't like our flag, Lori said. Maybe someone doesn't like us, Carrie added. Can you get another flag? Brendan asked. And have someone do this again? Lori wiped her eyes. I'm sorry, Brendan. I thought this was a neighborhood where everyone is welcome. But now... That was what Brendan loved about his neighborhood, too, that everyone was welcome. Had it changed? Was it broken, like Carrie and Lori's flag? How could it be fixed? How could Carrie and Lori feel welcome again? Brendan pedaled slowly to the lemonade stand, and he told his friends what happened. Summer kicked a rock. Why would anyone do that? She asked. They thought, and none of them had an answer. So they thought of another question. What can we do? Summer said at last. I've seen rainbow flags at a store, Landon said. Can we get them another one? Brendan sighed. Lori's worried that someone might steal it or egg their house again. Summer lined up some paper cups and pushed them close together. What if we built a wall around their house? Brendan scratched his head. Or we could set up a patrol and take turns guarding their porch. Landon clenched his fist. Or we could find out who did this and egg their house, too. But none of their ideas seemed right for a neighborhood where everyone was welcome. They didn't want to separate their friends with a wall or treat others like enemies. They needed to find a way to bring everyone together to show love that was big enough to heal the hurt. Then suddenly a plan came to them. But would it work? Could they get other kids to help? Would their neighbors come through? Brendan, Landon, and Summer biked to the store that had the flags. They told the man at the counter what they wanted to do. He grinned. Take as many as you want, he said. He helped load them on their bikes. As they rolled by, kids playing in the street asked what they were doing with all the flags. Soon, a parade was biking, scootering, and walking to every house in the neighborhood. Yes, people said yes, as they took the flags one by one. Not everyone had a mount, but everyone took a flag. Some hung a flag on the door, some across the porch, some on a fence, and one in a big tree. The children brought the last flag to Carrie and Lori's house. They cheered as Carrie and Lori hung the flag on their door. Twink and Scout jumped and slobbered on hands and faces. Together, Carrie, Lori, adults, and kids walked up and down the bumpy sidewalks. Together, they admired how all the families were different but united like the different colors in the rainbow of the flags. The children waved goodbye to Carrie, to Lori, to each other, to everyone, glowing with pride as they biked, scootered, and walked home. The kids had done it. They'd taken something broken and made it beautiful. Once again, their neighborhood was a place where everyone is welcome, where everyone is celebrated, where everyone helps each other. Okay, so, thank you. That story was recommended by the UUA, by the way. It's time for each of you to light your little chalices if you haven't already done so, and as you take them with you, remember that they represent the light and the love of everyone here going with you. We will all sing On Your Way to You Now as you head downstairs. The prelude today is Ballad of an Outlaw, written and performed by Paul. How do you say it?
Ferris.
Oh, Paul Ferris.
Pronounced Ferris, but spelled with a P as in phonetics. My favorite word in the English language. I seem to stumble in the darkness. I seem to stumble in the light. And lose the pain of great misfortune, even when I win the fight. I didn't mean for it to happen. I didn't mean for him to die. But I lost my means for judgment when the corn mixed with the rye. The hands I play are stacked with jokers, one-eyed jacks and twos, and I wish that I could call and while win a hand or two. But I lose the game each time I play, I lose each time I fight, and I have a feeling somehow I won't make it through this night. They're closing in on me for what I've done. I guess I filled my cup. Getting nowhere, moving forward. Might as well be backing up. I'm just one more random memory you'd rather let go by. And I'll finally find peace fading out while staring at the sky. Hands I play are stacked with jokers, one-eyed jacks and twos, and I wish that I could call them wild, win a hand or two. But I lose a game each time I play, I lose each time I fight, and I have a feeling somehow I won't make it through this night. and somehow I will make it through this night.
Thank you, Paul. Hello. My name is Becca Reynolds. I'm one of the plethora of Beccas that goes to this church. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm an out and proud trans woman. Thank you very much. And I'm wearing purple today. The words of invitation are Beacons by Kimmy Floyd Reich. Beloveds, we were never meant to hide in closets. We were never to be spoken of in whispered corners by a world filled with others, afraid of their own reflections. We are from the flame of Channing's truth, Olympia Brown's relentlessness, in Lou Alcott's defiance of societal expectations, and Thoreau's solitude of freedom. Freedom of solitude, we are here. Heirs of a theology that says love is love. The soul is not gendered, that covenants live in hearts, not courtrooms. Laws can be cruel and narrow, but our faith remains wide, widening still more until every child hears their pronouns in liturgies, and every parent of a trans child hears their entire congregation reflect back, "You are not alone." In the face of their fears, we have always been here, from pulpits to picket lines, from the ancestors you called heretics to our kitchen tables where we eat with chosen families, speaking our truths into becoming real. This world may pass laws, may pass bans, overturn laws, rewrite constitutions, threaten us, but our marriages were holy before they were licensed. And our identities were sacred before we had names. Today, again, and every day, bless those coming out and those staying in. Bless the drag. Bless the transitioning. Bless the questioning. Bless the kinfolk. Bless our chosen families. And bless us. Because we have faced ourselves, loved ourselves, saw ourselves, and we declare we are beauty and goodness and unicorns with a bit of rainbow and a lot of heart. We gather now in the wake of their efforts to erase as a sign that we are not so easy to erase. And knowing that we are literally love becoming, we were never meant to hide. We were always meant to blaze. Thank you. Blessed be. Our hymn of the month is, for May, is When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. It's number 1008 in the teal hymnal, and the words will be on the screens. You are welcome to stand or remain seated as you wish as we sing together.
Bless
My name is J.C. Reed. We have a big echo on Zoom, Adam. My pronouns are she and her. I'm wearing a cheerful pink polo shirt to sort of counterbalance the gray day. When Our Heart is in a Holy Place is one of my favorite hymns. I first discovered it in the early 90s at a General Assembly. And I have to tell you, I thought it said, when your heart is in a holy place. It was quite a while before I realized it was our heart. Our heart in a holy place. That's what Joy for Concerns are about. I'm a member of the Pastoral Care Circle. As a community, we share joys and concerns to keep connected. Slips of paper are available at the greeters table for those in the sanctuary to use for joys and concerns. During the week, you may send your joys and concerns by email to pastoralcare@springfieldu.org or by leaving a voicemail on the church phone 417-883-3922. If you're on Zoom, please use the chat box then for sharing your joy and concerns. All of our joys and concerns will be included in the members' email on Tuesday. We honor each joy or concern with a lighted candle, a symbol of the love we as a community offer for each of these joys and concerns. This morning, Kathleen will be lighting candles. And now, as we begin this time of sharing, know that we are in multiple physical spaces. We are together in beloved community. To begin, we hold in love all of us, those present and those absent. We light a candle for our church community. Okay, on the chat box from Doris, we have the concern. She writes, I have recently been diagnosed with cancer. The illness and treatments leave me feeling very weak and tired, so I will not be attending church for a while. I will be with you in spirit and on Zoom. I feel optimistic. My doctor says we caught it early, and chances are good that I will go into full remission. We light a candle of concern and support, Doris. And are there joys and concerns on the pulpit?
There are joys and concerns on the pulpit. Is there someone in the congregation who was planning to read them? I just came to check on that very thing. Here you go.
Hi, everyone. It's me again. I'm also on the Pastoral Care Circle, so I'm going to jump in here and share these. Oh, goodness, forgive me if I get this name wrong. Is it Phaedra? Am I saying that right? Great. Okay. We have a joy from Phaedra. Today, I am 30 days without a drink after cutting back for health reasons. And that is definitely worth celebrating. Yeah. All right. Becca G has a joy. Happy 57th anniversary to my parents today. We light a candle of joy for Becca and her parents. Becca Reynolds shares a joy, and it's simple and so impactful. I have a job. We light a candle of joy for Becca. Sherry B. shares a joy as well. A joy for a marvelous Pride Fest. A big thank you to Neil for organizing our booth and to all who helped him. Let's give a big round of applause. Light a candle of joy. Kelly shares 2 events attended for the first time. Fast on Friday, Pride Fest on Saturday, and enjoyed both. We light a candle of joy for Kelly. All right, we have a concern from Neil Richardson. Yesterday, I was going to say, I think this is Kelvin, called and said there's something wrong with the dog. So we're hoping he feels better soon. We light a candle of concern. And I turn it back over to you, Dacia.
Thank you. We have a concern from Amira, a concern for all those affected by this flash flooding. Many people in the city have destroyed vehicles and damaged property. We light a candle of concern. I would also offer a candle of concern for Roxanne Darby, who took a bad fall earlier this week and broke not one, but both arms. You can keep her in your thoughts. We honor the complex and heartbreaking struggles of our world. We light a candle for all those who are impacted. In closing, for those joys and concerns that remain unspoken in our hearts, we light a candle. May we hold each of these joys and concerns in our hearts and minds. May our community of love ease sorrow and boost celebration. Let us now join together in 1 minute of shared silence, followed by Spirit of Life.
Good morning, I'm Tiffany. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm wearing a black sweater and a black and tan dress, and I'm here to talk about the second week of June in UU history. On June 9th, 1861, United States Secretary of War Simon Cameron, following vigorous pressure from Reverend Henry Whitney Bellows of the Unitarian Church of All Souls in New York City, signed a document authorizing President Abraham Lincoln to institute a U.S. Sanitary Commission. Its two purposes were to provide for the care of wounded Union soldiers in the Civil War and to assist with communications between troops and their families. Bellows was appointed the commission's president and immediately set to work making it effective. Women in Unitarian and other churches throughout the United States met in groups to help to make supplies for the troops, especially long strips of bandaging, which had to be torn and rolled by hand. The commission also enlisted the services of physicians and scientists, greatly advancing the practical arts of military medicine. Brief pause. The offering we take each Sunday is an opportunity to recommit to this place and to these people. It is as much a ritual as singing together, lighting our chalice, or reciting our unison affirmation. It is a reminder of that form of love we call generosity. It is how we show that we believe it is important to worship together, to help our community, and to say yes to the values of our faith. If electronic giving is your preferred method, or if you are on Zoom, virtual giving options are available via our website, springfielduu.org. The offertory is San Francisco's Mabel Joy by Mickey Newberry, performed by Paul. And I just have to say, I feel very lucky to be in the room anytime Paul is sharing his music. So, thank you.
I have one more quick joy, which I should have put in, and I forgot to. For the first time in 5 years, Rebecca's playing the piano. And on another note, it is a known fact that if you have a case of the blues and you just can't get rid of them, the one thing that always works, and this is a proven fact, is to listen to a sad song. For some reason, it always brings you out of it. So, if you are having a hard time today and you're not doing anything that's making you better, by the time this song's over, you're going to feel like $100. Lord, his daddy was an honest man. Just a red dirt Georgia farmer. His mom spent her short life having kids, baling hay. He had but 15 years and an ache inside to wander. So he hopped a freight way across, wound up in L.A. Lord, the cold nights have no pity on a red dirt Georgia farm boy. Most days he went hungry. Then the summer came. He met a girl down on the strip, and San Francisco was Mabel Joy, destitution's child, board of an LA street called Sharon. Growing up came quietly in the arms of Mabel Joy. Laughter found their mornings and brought meaning to his life. The night before she left, sleep came and left that way across country boy. The dreams of Georgia cotton and a California wife. Sunday morning found him standing neath the red light at her door, when a right cross set him reeling, left him face down on the floor. And in place of his Mabel Joy, he found a merchantman marine, who scowled, your Georgia neck is red, but Sonny, you're still green. He turned 21 in a Gray Rock federal prison. The old judge had no mercy on a way across country boy. Staring at those cold gray walls in silence, he would listen to the midnight freight he knew would take him back to Mabel Joy. Sunday morning found him lying neath the red light at her door. With a bullet in his side, he cried, have you seen Mabel Joy? Stunned and shaken, someone told him, son, she don't live here no more. She went away just 4 years today.
Good morning again. I'll introduce myself this time. I'm Reverend Dr. Michelle Scott Huffman. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the minister here at First UU, and glad to be with you today. In keeping with the tone that Paul has set for us, I'll tell you that my pride message today is different than it might normally be, and offer a warning in advance that I will name some things about gun violence and violence against minority communities. I would invite you to take care of yourself, whatever you need to do. If you need to step out, that's totally okay, or whatever it is that you need. Several weeks ago, I saved a post that I came across on social media that was just white words on a black background, and it said, "For Pride this year, can straight people focus less on love is love and more on queer and trans people are in danger?" This is Pride Fest weekend in Springfield, and that makes today Pride Sunday. But it's also the same weekend as the Pulse Night of Remembrance, which honored the victims of the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando that happened 10 years ago on this past Friday, June 12th. I wrote about that on Friday on Facebook and Substack, so I won't recap that here, but I will share a piece of what I shared there, which is that a part of the devastation of that horrific event was the fact that for many of the people who were there that night, they were in their sanctuary. Just as we are in our sanctuary this morning. Sanctuary can mean both a consecrated or set-apart place and a place of refuge and safety. And for those folks there that night, it was both. For many people, their sanctuary, the place where they open their hearts and minds to spiritual and ethical teachings that make their lives much more rich and full, the place where they can name their truths and their loves with vulnerability and be met with grace and community. For many people, that place is a church or other spiritual home. But sometimes for people who express their gender experience outside the norms of their community, or people who dare to love someone of the same gender, or people of all genders, or people who dare to love even more than one person, for those people, churches and religious communities have not been safe places. And it's not just that they haven't been safe to share their most intimate truths, but also that they haven't been safe to even just attend and be who they are. But the human heart needs community. And it needs acceptance and inclusion, and it needs to know that there are others who will protect it when it is in danger. So communities of difference form their own sanctuaries, often in the most unlikely of places. And for many decades, for many people, the gay bar has been that sanctuary. And on the night that the sanctuary at Pulse was desecrated with hate and violence, it was even more devastating to a particular community because it was an affinity night at the bar. In other words, it was a community within a community that was hit the hardest that night as they gathered for Latin Night. An event that should have been marked with cultural touch points that helped a group of people feel even more connected. Before I go on, I want to stop here and hold in our hearts each one who died, was injured, or escaped physical harm, but still bear the mental and emotional scars of the experience. Will you join me in a moment of silence for the victims at Pulse on June 12th, 2016? Thank you. May their memories be for us a catalyst to work tirelessly to end gun violence, identity-based violence, and political violence in this country and around the world. Yesterday, here in Springfield, we made the streets our sanctuary. Pride is a joyous occasion that is both party and protest, and for that reason alone, it is important. Not just to the LGBTQ plus community, but to our community as a whole. But it's more than that, because you see, there is strength in numbers. The reality right now is that many queer and trans people are afraid, and rightfully so, because the danger is real. But there's power in stepping out into the public square, even if you do it with fear and trembling and saying, I will not be hidden and I will not be silenced. Here I am, this is who I am, this is who I love, and I will not hide this beauty in order to conform with the demands of those who don't understand and refuse to make space for anything different from their own experience. At a Pride event, some version of that statement is proclaimed by every attendee wherever they land on the spectrum of sexual and gender identity, and I'm so thankful for the success and safety of the day yesterday, because the reality for all of us who went is that we went knowing that might not be the case. And that's a risk we have to take. And why? Why, in 2026, when we should be far more evolved as humans, why is that even true? Why do we live in one of the most developed countries in the world and accept rampant gun violence as just the way it is? So much so that we aren't even shocked anymore when it happens. Why do we live amidst the incredible beauty of difference and diversity and accept that some people will be targets, not because of anything that they've done or said, but simply because of who they are? Why do we find ourselves in these United States of America living under the authoritarian rule of a faction of a party that wants to eliminate our diversity and erase our identities? Why? Why do we watch our state legislatures debate hundreds of bills designed to strip away basic health care, bathroom safety, and sports access for trans youth, and treat it like standard political theater instead of a coordinated assault on human dignity? Why do we allow politicians to use the lives and bodies of vulnerable people as a rhetorical weapon to fire up their base while ignoring the real world trail of terror, death, and physical violence that their rhetoric leaves behind? Why? Why do we look at statistics telling us that an LGBTQ person is over 5 times more likely to experience violent victimization than their straight neighbors and not treat it as a national emergency? Why do we look at statistics that say a black LGBTQ person faces a staggering rate of violence, over 204 victimizations per 1,000 people? Why do we tolerate a system that thinks it can solve the global crisis of human rights abuses by simply deleting LGBTQ from federal reports, as if erasing someone from a piece of paper erases the violence they face on the ground? Why? Why have we allowed ourselves to be lulled into a false sense of security by corporations carrying rainbow flags with catchy slogans like "love is love," while the actual legal and physical safety of queer and trans people is being systematically dismantled? Why do we settle for the superficial celebration of Pride Month while remaining silent about the deadly undercurrent of danger that forces our siblings to risk their lives just to step out onto the pavement? Why do we do these things? The truth is, we do them because it's easier to look away than it is to protect. But we cannot look away today. Let's look at what's actually happening. In addition to the rampant violence that just exists in American society, there's the danger posed by the government itself. Yesterday, Robert Reich posted on his social media accounts a message from former House Leader and Missourian Dick Gephardt and former Senator Timothy Worth, outlining the extent of the danger facing anyone who dares to be different in today's United States of America. They wrote that they are watching something completely different from anything they've ever seen in their lifetimes, and they call it a rolling coup. They warn that while most Americans are looking at individual, disconnected political decisions, few are stepping back to connect the dots. Unlike a traditional coup with tanks in the streets, this is the methodical, incremental construction of a federal apparatus designed to identify, arrest, and forcibly suppress anyone who opposes the current administration. This is not a political conversation. That is not okay in any political situation and at the hands of any political party. Let's connect some more dots. On September 25th, 2025, a directive called the National Presidential Security Memorandum 7, NPSM 7, was signed authorizing federal counterterrorism agencies to target Americans labeled as, among other things, hostile to traditional American views on family, religion, and morality. FBI Director Kash Patel testified to a 300% increase in domestic terrorism investigations, and former Attorney General Pam Bondi revealed that thousands of U.S. citizens and non-governmental organizations are already on a secret watch list. The administration's Senior Director for Counterterrorism, Sebastian Gorka, released a strategy just last month naming specific political and religious minority gatherings as principal threats. The 16-page document is thinly veiled propaganda and importantly reads, in addition to cartels and Islamist terror groups, our national counterterrorism activities will also prioritize the rapid identification and neutralization of violent secular political groups whose ideology is anti-American, radically pro-transgender, and anarchist. We will use all the tools constitutionally available to us to map them at home, identify their membership, map their ties to international organizations like Antifa, because we know that's a thing, and use law enforcement tools to cripple them operationally before they can maim or kill the innocent. This is language in a government document released last month. These efforts, coupled with data mining of financial records to identify donors and adherents while also investing tens of billions of dollars in the enforcement arm, a domestic army currently known as ICE and CBP, add up to a very real danger. Gephardt and Worth warned that the trap of a rolling coup is that each step is framed in the legitimate-sounding language of law enforcement and national security. The first job of any coup is to make the recognition of it seem premature. But by the time it is obvious to everyone, the moment to resist has already passed. This is why we can't settle for the comfortable sentiment of love is love. When the federal government codifies a definition of terrorism that explicitly targets those who are hostile to traditional views on family and morality, that's me, it's most of you, our queer and trans siblings are facing more than just societal prejudice. We are facing the organized might of a weaponized state. And if the state is building an apparatus of fear, then the church must build an apparatus of sanctuary. Because no one flourishes in fear, and we are in the business of flourishing. So friends, on this Pride and Pulse Remembrance Sunday, I offer a call to true allyship this year and beyond. Allyship that requires us to shake off our drowsiness and act with clear-eyed resolve, that invites us to move beyond passive support and into concrete resistance. Some of the ways we can do that include calling a thing what it is. This thing is an authoritarian attempt to erase diversity and criminalize dissent. We must demand structural accountability. We must pressure our leaders in local, state, and federal government, make them answer for the votes they're taking and the statements they're making, and don't let up. And then we better show up in November to get a different set of people making those decisions. We must protect the data and the people. We have to support the organizations that refuse to comply with authoritarian data mining and vow to protect identities, privacy, and safety of marginalized individuals in our community. And we must fund the resistance. If our state is using our tax dollars to work against us and our values, then we somehow have to find and direct other resources to legal defense funds, mutual aid networks, and grassroots organizations to keep queer, trans, and minority communities alive and free. And there's more to do. And you have some thoughts about that, I'm sure. So I would invite you to share what it is that you feel called to do or that you think we need to do and you don't even know how to make it happen. If you're on Zoom, I would invite you to share those things in the chat box and we'll collect them. If you're in the sanctuary, I invite you to walk straight to that whiteboard at the end of this service and write something on there that can be done to help resist what's happening right now, right in front of our faces. Friends, the picture before us is heavy and the hours are undeniably short. But history teaches us that authoritarianism relies entirely on the illusion of its own inevitability. It requires us to believe that our silence is the only logical choice. But what happened yesterday here in Springfield, a joyful and successful Pride event in the face of all kinds of threats, including weather, that tried to keep everyone home. Despite the bills and the rhetoric and the very real risks, people stepped out into the public square anyway. They made our streets a sanctuary. They danced and laughed and held hands and kissed and refused to be hidden. And this is the flaw in authoritarian design. You cannot easily extinguish a light that knows its own worth. And so we build a sanctuary. And we say, as much as possible, whoever is the person with privilege in any given moment, I will stand between you and the danger. The gay bars of the 20th century were not safe because the police protected them. They were safe because the people protected each other. We are the descendants of prophets, exiles, and revolutionaries who built sanctuaries in the wilderness, and when empires threatened to consume them. We know how to do this, and the time to do it is now. So let us leave this place today with our eyes wide open and our hearts set on courage. Do not give in to despair, because despair is the luxury of the indifferent. Lean into the radical joy of pride. Hold fast to one another, and let us work tirelessly to ensure that this community, this city, and this world remain a place where love truly is at the center, as we say in our Unitarian Universalist values. Let us uphold this sanctuary as a place of safety, and let's expand its walls as far as we can. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. I hear Paul has a more upbeat song for the next one. The Road to Kingdom Come by Pat Donahue, performed by Paul.
Out on the road last night, I saw a terrible fight. Something about who was right, who was wrong. Nobody cared who won. We all had our fun. Out on the road to kingdom come. On up along the rise, they're selling truth and lies. Whatever the buyer buys, the truth becomes, till it don't matter none. It's look out for number one. Out on the road to kingdom come. Out on the highway side, over the great divide, knowing the endless night has just begun. It's such a lonesome drive. How can a soul survive? Out on the road to kingdom come. I saw a love so great, I saw the strongest hate. I felt the awful weight of choosing one. I saw hope and despair, playing truth or dare. Out on the road to kingdom come. Ain't no highway sign, ain't no light to shine. You can lose your mind if you have one. You better hope and pray you can find your way. Out on the road to kingdom come. So long yesterday on that lost highway, you can never stay where you come from. Into the great unknown, you gotta go alone. Out on the road to kingdom come. Out on the road to kingdom come.
As we move to our closing, I offer these closing words by Cricket Hall called Rainbow Blessing. There are some church spaces where people raise their hands to receive a blessing, and you are welcome to do that today if you want to in this space, and it's okay if you don't. May the drag stage rise to meet you. May the world rise to accept and embrace you. May the rainbow of love enfold you. May your fluidity never be hindered. May your pronouns always be supported and your dead name forgotten. May those who invite you into your life remain loyal. May your chosen family lift you up and catch you when you need it. May you be able to catch others when they need it. May you remember sensitivity is not weakness, but instead a great strength, welling up inside you. And until we meet again, may you remember that you are loved and you are divine. Our final hymn this morning is Break Not the Circle. It's number 323 in the gray hymnal. Feel free to stand or stay seated, whatever is comfortable for you, and then stay that way as we close.
Till it includes
Kathleen is going to come and extinguish. Oh, I blew it out when I ran by. Our chalice. So let's just say these words together. Our service here is ending. Our service to the world begins anew. Go in peace, friends. Don't forget to write on the whiteboard and talk to each other and have some coffee.